This segment is sponsored by the Prince George's County Department of the Environment. Businesses account for 1/2 of the county's solid waste stream and 2/3 of the recycling rate.
Prince George's County's mandatory solid waste and recycling regulations help businesses, their employees, and the customers participate in reducing waste and recycling. So here to share more on all of this is Andrea Kroom. She's the director of the Prince George's County Department of the Environment. Good to see you again.
Yes. Good morning.
Prince George's County doing so much. But let's start with the disposable, like food, utensils, and serviceware that we get from restaurants. What are the rules there?
Exactly. So we have a new rule going into effect on June 1st, and it's very similar to the one that's in DC already. And that is about all of the items that you get when you go to like a takeout or you drive through the drive-through. The napkins, the straws, the forks, the ketchup, the sauces. And what we want is for businesses to ask people whether they want them. Basically, we don't want anyone to drive away from the drive-through with things that they don't need. Like if you don't plan on eating in the car and you don't need a fork, you plan on going home, whatever those options are. So what people are going to have to do, we call the program upon request. Everything will be given to you upon request. So in most cases, the person who's taking your order is going to go ahead and ask you what you need. If you're inside of a restaurant, it might be set aside in a spot for you to pick up what you need, but they're not going to automatically put things in your bag. And that regulation applies starting on June 1st of this year.
Okay, so and you said sauces, so it's a lot. Like, are there other things that they regularly hand out that businesses or restaurants hand out that we're going to be surprised about?
Anything that you use once and throw away, basically.
Okay.
So, you know, the main things really are the utensils, because a lot of folks get utensils that they don't need,
Right. We have a whole
extra
drawer
napkins
full of
that they
them.
don't need, right, yeah, all of those things.
Yeah.
So folks will be asking, but it's important that you know that you're going to have to confirm that you need those things rather than just have them automatically put in your bag.
Yes.
And we know the county's been working to beautify the community. What is the responsibility of business owners to support the initiative and when it comes to like trash and recycling?
Yeah, so all businesses in Prince George's County are required to have a trash can and a recycling can outside. And that's really important because we do have a real problem with litter and illegal dumping that we've been doubling down on fighting. We've put out surveillance cameras to reduce illegal dumping. We've done a lot of work picking up a lot of litter, but we want to make receptacles available for folks to be able to put that trash and recycling in. So all businesses in Prince George's County are required to have a trash can and a recycling can out front. And as well, anywhere inside their building that they have a trash can, they must also have a recycling can. Those recycling cans have to say what we accept. And so we have the list of acceptable items, and we have posters that are available for businesses to hang up with those recycling cans.
That's nice to have them side by side right there. Composting's really big. I just heard DC was kind of starting a program for residents here. So you have composting, but also for businesses and restaurants. They have a lot of food waste. Does this apply to them as well?
So we now have curbside composting for all of our residents,
Great.
185,000 households that we serve. We actually have one of the few nationwide, you know, that we actually go to your house and pick up your composting. But for businesses, there's a new rule that's Maryland statewide, and that does not apply to restaurants. What it applies to is to cafeterias, whether it's in a school, private school, a public school, or inside of a business, and mini markets, grocery stores, producers of a lot of food. So the new rule says that if a business produces more than 2 tons a week of food waste right now, which could be still packaged food or like chopping of ends, all of those things that are food waste, that they have to divert that to a composting facility. And so we have a composting facility in Prince George's County. The rule is 30 miles. Everything is covered within the county. So we expect folks who have those businesses to divert that waste to our composting facility. That rule is for this year, and then as soon as January 1st of next year, it goes down to 1 ton a week. A lot of businesses don't really know how much food waste they're producing. So they can contact us, and we're providing technical assistance to help them evaluate how much food waste they're producing and help them get into a contract so that they can get that food waste sent to the composting center instead of sent to the landfill.
When you were here last time, you were sharing the composting program with us. How's it been going? And you've been seeing, like, I think a lot of people hear the word, don't understand what it means, and you all were there to educate them.
Yeah, I think people are really getting the hang of it. I always say that it's not a one-day change. We're asking people to change something that goes on every day in your life. And so folks are getting the hang of it. Folks are excited about it. People are engaged. So we think that the program really serves the residents and is providing another way of getting rid of things. I think the big one is going to be this summer with the crabs, because everybody wants to have their crabs over the weekend. You put them on the newspaper, you wrap it all up, you dump it in that composting container, and we pick up your compost on Monday. So that way, you know, the stinky is gone right away, and you've done something good for the environment while you're doing that, you know, Maryland tradition of your crabs.
Good it in your routine this summer.
Andrea, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Such great information. And for more information on how businesses can be compliant with the regulations and everything else about the Prince George's County Department of the Environment, visit environment.mypgc.us.